We need our weed. I don't wear it, but we need it.
We are absolutely winning right now. Absolutely. We have done more than change the conversation. We changed the balance of power in the federal government.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
Black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, you know, she was the first organism on this planet.
I need that money.
Because there are a lot of people in this country who do not like black women, but black women are the base of the Democratic Party.
But black power starts with black women. It just does.
These angry, mad, opportunistic, lying black women.
Aaron. Aaron. Aaron.
He showed me where the slave camps were. And I will never forget, he said, Al, you see what that artifact is? I said, what's that? He said, they call it the door of no return. When you go Through that door, you either made it to America to slavery or you died in the Atlantic. The door, no return. But I talked to him about 3 years ago, and I reminded him, I said, remember when you brought me to the door of no return? He said, yeah. I said, well, we did return. We returned the President of the United States, Barack Obama. We returned the Vice President, Kamala Harris. We returned with businessmen. They thought they sent us as slaves. We came back as global liberators. The problem is that too many of us did not join the movements that sponsored us. And there was a breakout in 2024 called Negro Amnesia, where you forgot where you came from and forgot how you got where you got. Therefore, they're trying to take back everything you have. I asked Michael Eric Dyson, our prominent scholar, where in history is this? He said, we always go one step forward and two back. Well, here we are now. The problem is not Trump. The problem is us. We are allowing ourselves to be lowered and our children to feel inferior because you don't have an I am somebody person. You got our artists calling our women bees. Our others calling us niggas. What happened to us? What happened to black and proud? What happened? I'm gonna vote. What happened? Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. What happened to us?
You know, in a lot of ways, the timing of Jesse Jackson's death and his funeral that just happened yesterday, I think, is very symbolic, heavily symbolic. If you realize that, if you consider the possibility that for the Black boomers, their political efforts, all of their political machinations, it really started to come together and hit its peak around the time of the Rainbow Coalition. Jesse Jackson famously came up with the whole Rainbow Coalition idea, maybe, or at least it's heavily tied to Jesse Jackson. And with the death of Jesse Jackson and the emotional, painful loss of Jasmine Crockett, and before that, Kamala Harris, and even before that, Stacey Abrams, with all of these high-profile Black female losses, it is starting to look like the Rainbow Coalition is dying. The Rainbow Coalition died with Jesse Jackson, and what we're going to be left with going forward is a less Black Democrat movement. You know, I came across this video recently, and this is pretty much how the Democrats are going to look at Black women going forward. This posture that Scott Jennings is taking right now, just the face of it all, this is how the Democrats are going to have to, this is how they will approach Black women going forward, because the momentum is just shifting away. The movement has finally run its course, I believe, and you can't just restart it. There's no just pumping life back into it. Too much has happened. Too many changes have kind of pushed things in this direction, and this is just where we are now. And this is what we're going to be talking about today, the end of identity politics for Black people. The Democrats in particular are moving away from not identity politics, because identity politics is really what the Democrats do. But there's a bigger identity to contend with now. And the Democrats, they have to recognize that if they want to hold on to whatever political power they have left. And so this is how they are going to treat Black women going forward.
You make jokes about people in prison in El Salvador. I mean, these things they speak to the heart of Americans and what we see people are going through, it's not a political standpoint to me. We try to see the humanity in people, and it doesn't seem like people on the right side are capable of that. This is what people voted for. We knew very well who Trump was during the first term, where he had the family separation policy, where he was putting children in cages. People voted for that again and again. I'm done pretending that there are people out there who will see this and be outraged by it. The polling numbers just show that's not true. People will say they don't like it, but they showed up to the voting booth and voted for him again and again. Of the nearly 70,000 people in ICE custody right now, less than, I believe, 10% have criminal convictions. I mean, the data shows time and again that this is an unfair, inhumane policy. And so, no, Abby, I don't think this is going to make a difference.
Scott,
Respond to what?
what she just said.
Look, I'm not going to respond to ad hominem attacks on 70 million Americans who decided to vote Republican in the November 2024 election. I don't think it's right. You come out here, you call people liars, you call anybody who votes Republican, you say they don't have a moral compass. I mean, I
didn't say anybody who votes Republican. I said the people who voted for Donald Trump.
Okay,
They
he's a
cannot be
Republican,
surprised.
and he won in November with Republicans who voted for him. So don't back away from
But
your
I'm not backing away. I don't think they have a moral
That's how you feel,
compass.
but I'm not.
You don't ever have to worry about me backing away from
I
that
don't
point.
feel.
I
I don't
say
feel like I
they
have to
don't have a
respond to
moral
these attacks.
compass.
In fact, I think you ought to ask her if she really believes 70 million people lack a moral compass.
I believe people who saw what Trump did and voted for him lack a moral compass.
I don't know if the Democrats quite understand. They have perhaps created a bit of a monster and going overboard. They've been full steam, black woman is God, black girl magic for the last decade, 15 years maybe, going back to Obama, really. I think it really all started to come together under Obama, and they've kind of created a huge monster with the black female vote in particular. They have sort of radicalized the black woman to the point where now they believe their own political propaganda, and they don't quite get the political calculation that just took place and why the black female vote, why the black female candidates rather weren't strong enough to get to the higher offices that they wanted to get to. And this is just the way it is going forward. The Democrats have created a monster in black women, and now I'm hearing growing signs of discontent and revolt coming from a lot of the rank and file black female voters out there. They have radicalized their base to the point where they may have to just cut them off. They're gonna have a the Democrats are gonna have to get tough with black women at some point.
Dear America, let's talk about this tweet right here. What is identity politics? Webster Dictionary simply says that its political positions are movements that are shaped by having a particular racial, religious, ethnic, social, or cultural identity. So when someone celebrates the death of identity politics, what they're really saying is that they don't want policies that are aimed at helping communities that are Black, brown, Muslim, LGBTQ+, any of that. They shouldn't be centered anymore. They should be dead. That's a problem. Full stop. Democrats, we need to have a real conversation moving forward about where we go from here. I'm a consistent voter and will continue to show up for Democrats up and down the ballot in November. But you cannot expect the majority of participants of the global majority to support you when you continue to push this rhetoric. This is what we've been seeing for the last 4 months. And unless you believe that there's really no space for us and you don't want us here, I mean, just let me know. If Democrats really want to rally behind a message of hope and kindness, that message has to include confronting racism, misogyny, and injustice, not celebrating its erasure. Get it together.
And there you have it. These are the calls that black women are making. These are the appeals that black women are making. And frankly, the feeling of betrayal coming from black women is actually hard to ignore. If you're politically aware, if you understand the nature of politics, you will pay attention to the feeling of betrayal of black women. And I just look at it with a question of where do they go from here? Because if you're, a left-wing, politically active Black woman and you feel like the Democrats have betrayed you, don't think that any of your goals are going to get activated. I mean, your dreams aren't going to get met by the Republicans. Let's put it that way. So where do you go from here?
Fight for the soul of the Democratic Party. I'm just going to read off some of these headlines, okay? Michelle Goldberg in the New York Times said 2 comedians told the truth about Jasmine Crockett's campaign, okay? And what she said is that her theory is dubious. The theory that she can turn out voters, mainly Black voters that don't vote. And it was actually Tallarico who is going to flip Republican voters. There's one lady who was particularly nasty, Jill. She was, ooh. I had to screenshot her stuff too. I'm going to get to it. She's a Texas political consultant. It's Evan Barker, writing for the Times. Who is Jasmine Crockett? The Democrat running in Texas. The party shouldn't want to win. The party has long believed it can flip Latino voters in Texas, but an anti-Trump firebrand won't do the job. So I bring these things up because it was constantly put forth that Tallarico was going to win white voters. He was going to win Latino voters. And even Black people would take some white man to be the white man, said that Jasmine couldn't get the white and Latino vote. Okay. And this same bitch, after Jasmine lost, said Jasmine Crockett's loss could finally give the Democrats a fresh start. She said, I predicted the left-wing firebrand would win in Texas using the old identity politics. Identity politics. Remember that word? That word was floating. It's only identity politics when we're talking about the Blacks.
The Democrats will not abandon identity politics. It is their bread and butter. But like I said, there is a bigger growing, there is just a more dynamic, more politically fertile identity to chase right now, which is the Latino vote. And if you noticed, the entirety of the Democrat political party is oriented toward protecting the illegal immigrants. The overwhelming majority of them are some type of Latino. And so when you think about just the grand scheme of it, the Latino vote encompasses all the varying nationalities and ethnicities of South America. They're a way bigger group to contend with. And going forward, they will be a way bigger group to contend with, because whether it's the reproductive issue, you know, black women are just stopping the next generation from coming out, or it's just the open border problem, you are being politically outnumbered.
Left-wing firebrand would win in Texas using the old identity politics. Identity politics. Remember that word? That word was floating. It's only identity politics when we're talking about the Blacks. Now it's identity politics. She said, but James Tallarico proves the party is ready to write a new one. She said, the truth is demographics aren't destiny for all racial groups. That's what she said. And she's referring to how, well, demographics aren't destiny, that they aren't going to vote for the Black woman because they're Latino or Asian. That's what she said. So, wielding her identity like a weapon, and for once this strategy backfired. How dare she be Black? Another person, a Texas Senate race is testing Democrats' stomach for race and gender fights. Latino voters will probably decide the primary contest between Crockett and Tallarico. They were correct. Identity, this is Axios. Identity politics convulse Dems' Senate primary. And they laid out how Blacks are being problematic and calling out racism. For KCWR, Texas Dems are stuck on identity politics. Identity, that word was just
yeah,
thrown around.
That was Kamala Harris's entire campaign identity politics.
Star Telegram, Texas newspaper, and their endorsement. They said that Tallarico was needed because he's going to bring in Republicans and converting independent. That was the other thing. Oh, he's going to get the independents. He's going to get the Republicans. I'm going somewhere with this. Oh, can James Tallarico This is Mother Jones, March 2nd. Can James Talarico convince Democrats he's the fighter they need? The Texas Senate primary is a battle for the party's soul. The party's soul is what they said. And this was a puff piece on Talarico. Oh, and then Jasmine is just a ghetto loudmouth black girl. There's a large body of work with that. And then when she lost, James Talarico victory is a rebuke to identity politics. So, okay. So you're right. Now, it's funny, though. Now, let me tell you, this is where I'm getting to. It's very, very, very funny that everybody laid down the gauntlet. Everybody drew the battle lines. And so now that Talarico is the guy, congratulations. It took a colossal effort to win. Congratulations. And I said, we're passing the baton. I didn't say Black people won't vote. I said that we're passing the baton. This primary was a theory of the race. And white Democrats all said that the theory of the race that Jasmine Crockett put forth was wrong and Talarico's was right. And he won. So let's test that theory out. So I've made videos and I've said, hey, white and Latino voters make Texas blue again. And it's so funny how it's fine coming from their side to say white Latino voters, white Latino voters, white Latino. But what I also realize is, a big reason why they're feeling uncomfortable with the label white is because they don't want to say white. White has to be silent. So they say conservatives, they say independents, they say working class, they say union, they say firefighters.
College voters.
Oh, yeah. Suburban voters.
Yeah.
Soccer moms. They got every motherfucking euphemism. But what they were very, very clear on is that identity politics was dead if Talarico wins. But now that you have a lot of Black people that are saying, y'all got this, there's fucking panic. And I've made videos saying white voters for the win. And every time I say white voters, you got this, even though y'all haven't been voting Democrats in a majority or in large enough numbers since Black people got rights. This is the guy to do it. This is your great white hope candidate. This is your unicorn candidate. This guy is so special that he's the guy to do it. And every time I bring up white voters or Latino voters, they want to change the subject back to Black voters. Why are we talking about what Black voters are going to do? I thought y'all didn't like that conversation. I thought that was identity politics when Jasmine talked about it. Or when as Black people, we talked about Jasmine, that was identity politics. So it's very interesting that the undercurrent or the assumption that all of these motherfuckers made about we gonna kill identity politics, we gonna get the soul, was that Black motherfuckers was just gonna fall in line. That we are the footstool of the coalition. And a lot of Black people are saying, go to hell, bitch. Now, perhaps cooler heads will prevail eventually. But I think that people haven't figured out that something has been unlocked. There's an energy that's been unlocked, and it's going to take a lot of fucking work to direct that energy into a so-called coalition because they show their ass. And it's not that, oh, everybody's just so team Jasmine. Oh, we're cultists for Jasmine and Jasmine or bust. It's the way that people feel like it's okay to make us their footstools. It's the way that they feel that they can have dog whistles and bullhorns and shit on us and say the Blacks is going to fall in line. So we need to work on the independents. We got to work on the conservatives. But you Black motherfuckers, you better not talk about sitting this out. You better not talk about somebody earning your vote. Go to hell, bitch.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
the bitterness is just growing. There's nothing like emotionally processing the feelings of betrayal. Betrayal is what it's a, I don't know, I'm not going to call it a unique emotion, but the thing about being betrayed, there's so many powerful, bitter feelings that you get, that you have to go through when you really start to process, like, I did this all for you. I put so much into you. I gave you everything. I believed in you. The feelings of betrayal lead to so much bitterness that it's the meltdowns are unavoidable.
So now go forth and conquer. Good luck. Earn everybody's votes. Everybody's votes, which includes Black votes. Golden Life says, my gosh, Reese, you're still crashing out. Move forward already. Unity is the key. Bitch, I am moving forward. This is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that I'm moving forward. You guys laid out the theory of the race. What I've said is go implement that then. That's what I've said. And you bitches want to change the subject from what you said you could do. I didn't make this up. This is what you guys said you can do. Go do it. Y'all want to change the subject and talk about Jasmine. Jasmine lost. Don't matter. She lost. Moving on. Why do you guys feel so uncomfortable with me telling you and Black voters telling you to do what you said you could do? Is it because you didn't really believe it? That would be weird. That would be very weird. If you voted for the Great White Hope candidate and a white man, and you told everybody this whole time, and there was tens of millions of dollars spent on a Great White Hope candidate saying that he was going to be the one to do the white and Latino voters, and when he won, y'all were celebrating the white.
Black female Democrat voters are bitterly disappointed that the Democrats put their hope in the Great White Hope candidate, as she's calling him. For the first time in a long time, the Democrat establishment said, you know what? I got to go with the white guy. For the first time ever, well, not ever, but for the first time in a generation, probably, the Democrats said, you know what? I'm going to go with the white guy.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Saying that he was going to be the one to do the white and Latino voters. And when he won, y'all were celebrating the white and Latino voters, the white and Latino voters. Again, let me go back to some of the things. James Tallarico's victory is a rebuke to identity politics. That's what y'all said. I'm saying go do it.
A rebuke to identity politics. That was almost similar to.
And everybody knows, though, when they say identity politics in this particular context at this moment in time, what they really mean is you niggas. It is a rebuke to you niggas. We ain't fucking with you niggas. We are done with you niggas. You Black bitches in particular. We are over y'all.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the Black woman is God, and
Black woman is God. I say the Black woman is God.
The Black woman is God because, you know, she was the first organism on this planet.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Kamala Harris, because we keep on hearing that Kamala Harris was doing too much identity politics and the Republican Party is doing the opposite. And all they do is pull identity politics. And you want to see some identity politics? You wait, the stunts you're going to see when it's whoever it is, Paxton and Cornyn up against James Tallarico. And how is James Tallarico going to fight back against that? You want to see some nasty, grimy identity politics? You're going to really, really see it because they peddle in identity politics. But I guess if you're a Black woman and you're running for office and you actually want to court Black voters and you want to be specific to Black voters, then you're peddling in identity politics. And I'm seeing all these comments that she didn't campaign in Latino areas. Go ahead.
That doesn't matter because Tallarico is the guy. Tallarico did everything right. Tallarico is the guy. So Jasmine didn't do this. She's not the nominee. Good thing she's not the nominee. Oh, she didn't. Good thing she's not the nominee. Jasmine was too ghetto. Good thing she's not the nominee. That's all I got for you guys. Good thing she's not the nominee. Why are we talking about Jasmine? She lost. I'm talking about your theory of the race for your guy. Sit in it. Are you not confident anymore? That would be weird. That would be very weird that you guys wrote all these things about what he could do and you don't believe it. That would be strange. I'm rooting for him. That's not me crashing out. That's me saying, go get him, Tiger. But there's something in you that, despite that being your narrative and your pitch, that you don't quite believe. And that's why when I say that, oh, you're being sarcastic. Oh, you're crashing out. I'm chilling. Do I look like I have a weight on my shoulders? I don't. Go get him, Tiger.
And don't get me wrong, right? The Black identity isn't just Black women, but it's very much focused around Black women. And so when I tell you that, what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of these niggas are mad hoes too, all right? Some of you niggas are just as mad as the hoes too.
Everyone wants to play the game until Black people want to play the game. We're not voting blue, no matter who. They have to earn our vote when it came to Kamala Harris and Jasmine Crockett. But now that Black people are running that same fucking game, saying, we're not voting for James Tallarico just because you want a blue candidate in the Senate. We're not doing that. He has to earn our vote. Now all of a sudden, nobody wants to play the game. Fucking hypocrisy.
It matters if the candidate is pro-Israel. James Tallarico voted in the Texas State House to uphold Israel's right to defend itself. But that doesn't matter, right? James Tallarico was at AIPAC events. But that doesn't matter, right? James Tallarico is funded by a Zionist billionaire that also funded Donald Trump, Miriam Adelson. But that doesn't matter, right? Fucking hypocrisy.
He can't elect Jasmine. She's not electable. She can't reach the people that are actually voting in the state. Translates to, she can't pander to the racists that are in this state, so we have to make sure that we uphold the supremacy that reinforces this value. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris accepted an endorsement from Liz Cheney. She wants to pander to the Republicans. How dare she? We can't support her if she does that. Oh, so now their standards have changed. Fucking hypocrisy. Oh my God, Jasmine's running on identity politics. I'm so tired of identity politics. Meanwhile, we have to put James Tallarico forward because that's the only way we can get the racist Latino and white voters to come out, because they will never support a Black woman. So you're running on identity politics. Wow, fucking hypocrisy. And a final note, it's up versus down. That's why his campaign was successful, because that's the message that actually gets out. The reason the message gets out to all of you fucking racists is because that's the only message that negates the harms that are actually levied onto Black people and other marginalized groups on the basis of being Black or their marginalized identity. So it allows you to completely skip over the deconstruction and the hard conversations and acknowledgement that all of these systems and institutions are created to uphold supremacy, which you guys have done in this entire fucking election, because the main argument was the only way that we could win is if we uphold supremacy for the supremacists. Y'all are fucking hypocrites.
At no point in time, if you were to reverse Jasmine Crockett's background with James Tallarico and just basically flip-flop their own personal backgrounds and have them still be the same people, at no point, at no place would you ever say, well, here we have James Tallarico, who is a lawyer, practiced law, was an activist, has civil rights background, has worked on congressional oversight, has worked on the federal level, and is now prime candidate to go to take a seat in the Senate. But I'm not going to vote for him, because I'm going to vote for this soft-spoken Black woman, middle school teacher who has no federal experience. I just feel like she would be better. You see how ridiculous that sounds? You see how ridiculous you sound? Stop playing in our faces.
Trump, but I'm going to vote for James Tallarico because it's Texas and only a white man can win. And he said, y'all, this is why black people don't trust us. Do y'all not see if we all walked away from the white men, they would never win anything again? Yes. Can I just say, if black people decide to not vote, America's cooked. I mean, you know.
You know what? I don't think that that's something you have to worry about. I think that as much as we may talk a game on that, I do not think you're going to see large numbers of black people just refuse to vote.
Yeah.
It just too.
Well, that would be the
directly impacts
Republican
us.
wet dream, right?
Yeah, it just impacts us too immediately and deeply, and we're.
I don't think the Democrats understand that constantly glazing the black vote is only creating an impossible level of discontent in the black women. Because if you continue to tell them how they're the most important part of everything, well, then they're going to expect to be treated that way. And then when you don't treat them that way, at some point, you're going to be the racist people that you've always warned them about.
People that were dragging Jasmine Crockett's voters all week, all of a sudden they're saying, we need your vote. We need to come together. Let's talk about it. Because I feel like for days, people were on here literally calling Jasmine ghetto and some of the most heinous things. And her supporters like emotionally unserious, dramatic, and all sorts of things, race baiting. But people were saying that we were the problem and we didn't understand politics and that we needed to fall in line. But now that Tallarico won the primary, suddenly everybody's saying, we need to unite. Oh, we need to unite. Oh, now Jasmine Crockett voters matter. Okay, now the black voter matters. Because a minute ago, y'all were telling people to shut up and get in line for whoever the party picks. But here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Both Jasmine Crockett and Tallarico have acknowledged their issue with the voter suppression in Dallas. So my question is very, very simple. If someone benefits from voter suppression and they won't advocate for justice around that because it helped them win, how are you going to advocate for us in the Senate? Because a senator's job is literally to advocate for their constituents. That means fighting for fair elections. That means speaking up when something isn't right. That means protecting the voters. So if you can't speak up about suppression when it happens in your own race, why should people believe you'll fight for them in Washington? You will fold like a cheap beach chair. But that's the real question. I want you to sit with that and ask yourself that. And let's be honest about something else. Black voters, especially black women voters, has been the most consistent voter base for the Democratic Party. But somehow we're always told, show up, vote, save democracy. And then after the election, our issues go to the back of the list. So now when people say, just vote for...
Black women keep saving democracy and democracy don't want to save you back. Ain't that a bitch? How you save democracy and democracy don't want to save you back? Listen, y'all gonna have to figure this one out, girls, all right? It is not a me thing. This is a you thing. I have no dog in the black female Democrat fight. I'm just on the sideline watching, throwing popcorn at the stage, all right? It is all fun and games to me.
Democrat. People are finally asking a different question. What have they actually done to earn that vote? Because a vote is not an entitlement. It's supposed to be earned. And that idea that people owe a vote just because someone has Democrat next to their name, that's exactly why nothing has ever changed. If politicians know the vote is automatic, they have no reason to listen. So if someone says black voters don't owe anyone their vote, they're not being rude and they're not being divisive. They're asking for accountability. And honestly, it should have happened a long time ago. Now, wait a minute. The same people that were dragging Jasmine.
This is a black section only. Only blacks in the comment section. If you're not black, continue to scroll. Thank you so much. Anyways, I said I was done talking about politics because I normally talk about anime and nerdy shit, but oh well.
Damn, y'all got the anime hoes mad? Even the anime hoes is mad. You see what your Democrats did? The anime girls are usually happy. They don't get caught up in a lot of things. You done pissed off the anime hoes. God damn, you can't do nothing right.
It's clear when it comes to the black vote, we are only important enough to just be foot soldiers, right? We can never have any policies that address issues that are in our communities, but everybody else can. With us, we're always a study. We are never a policy. It's always a maybe we'll study it. It's always, we can look into the effects of racism, or we could look into like maybe some weird thing about like how we could do reparations, but we need to study it, even though you have all of the data already. All of the issues that Black women are facing when it comes to medical issues, they don't get addressed. Do you know, I get annoyed when I see, oh, Black women are like X times higher to die in childbirth. Okay, why? Why? Like, okay, if the numbers are there, why? What's the reason? Because why in the video do you not name the reason? You're a journalist and you don't state the reason. Why? Racism. Okay, so we know the why, so why don't you say it? Say Black women are X amount of times likely to die in childbirth because of racism. We're always a number. We're never a solution. Because this stuff is expected to happen to us. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm trying to look into switching my party affiliations because honestly, I just do not, the Democrats do not do anything for us. And the house is on fire. We're expected to put the fire out, even though the people who started
the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn. She said her house on fire. Why she say her house on fire? Look at her face though. It's like she trying to like really, really mentally process all the betrayal. Like I'm telling you, the betrayal does a thing to the mind. Like betrayal turns the mind inside out, and you really start replaying moments over. You start rethinking things over, reanalyzing shit. You just be staring off into space like, oh, so that's what that was really about. Like, yeah, nigga.
Do not do anything for us. And the house is on fire. We're expected to put the fire out, even though the people who started the damn fire are continuously to run around with a goddamn match in their hands and light other things on fire. But expect us to put it out. That's not fair. If everyone else's communities can have their issues addressed, why are we last? Why do we have to be quiet? No, the Democrats, they have just taken the Black vote for granted, even though they need our vote. They act like they don't need our votes. So you know what? I want to run an experiment. Let's remove ourselves from the equation. And let's see how them Democrats do. I want a new party. I'm dead ass serious. I want a new party. So that way they can just stop blaming us for everything that goes wrong in this country and actually start blaming the people who are in power that make all this shit a living hell for all of us. Because what progress have we made? We are still talking about the same issues we were talking about 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They don't need us, apparently. Okay, bet. What's the new party? Y'all got any names? What's the new Black migration plan?
There is none. I got nothing for you. I got nothing, all right? I can't come up with a thing. I got nothing but love for you, honey. I got nothing. You're going to have to figure this one out. I don't know what to tell you.
Because we not going to have no wealth for future generations. If y'all haven't seen the statistics of the Black medium income.
I know people talk. I know some chick with a septum ring who believes in reproductive justice is not up here talking about generational wealth.
A housing income by like, I forget, like 2050 or something. We are perpetually in a state of being second-class citizens, even though they gave us rights. You know, not they didn't give us shit. We had to fight for that shit. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, they gave them to you. They gave them to you. And look what you've done with them. All these rights, and look at you now. all the rights you got, and look at you now. If your rights brought you to this point, of what value are those rights is all I'm asking. All right. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just a philosophical question. If all of your rights got you to this point, of what value are those rights?
Get back in the kitchen.
My brain is a little scattered because it's just like seeing how it doesn't matter if they're leftists, liberals, moderates, white supremacy, and it's not even a supremacy. They view whiteness, even when it doesn't benefit them.
I think she talked about the Mexicans.
They view whiteness, even when it doesn't benefit them. So let them have that fucking white candidate if that's what they want. If they're so good at being in control of everything in the country, let them have it. Let's just remove ourselves. What's our new party? Like I said, I'm not saying this shit to be facetious, but they don't address any black issues, or very rarely. Like I said, very rarely. If they do, it's a study. They need to study it, even though they have the fucking numbers. They have the fucking numbers.
Yo, it's like the L's keep chasing them, and Keisha just refused to hold the L. The L just following her around like a hungry baby, and Keisha refused to pick the L up and hold it. The L is just on the ground crying for its mama. The L is just out there just screaming, wanting to be held, and these bitches won't hold the L. Pick up your L and hold it.
They just don't want to, because we're expected to fall in line. And when they need us, we all have to come together, even though they weren't willing to do that for a more qualified candidate. This isn't just about Jasmine. And this isn't just about Kamala. This just isn't about Stacey Abrams. This is a long list of shit we're just expected to fall behind, while they are racist to these black women who are seeking higher positions. They expect us to fall in line. All right, bet. You got it.
Yeah, Angry Snowman, you just gotta have to let that one go, bro. You will never let people forget about the black jobs thing, huh? Should have never asked what black jobs are. All of a sudden, people can identify with great detail what black jobs are. A year ago, Trump said, hey, you're gonna lose your black jobs. And they were like, what that mean? What you mean, Mr. White Man? What is a blackity black job, white man? All of a sudden, you niggas know what a black job is now, though. That is so funny. The irony is too thick.
I want an experiment because I'm curious to see how this goes. Let's remove ourselves from the party. Let's see how they fare, because then they're going to have convinced Republicans and voters who don't typically vote and coax them into the Democratic Party. So either the Democratic Party is going to have to lean further red, or it's going to have to start leaning blue with actual progressive policies.
I don't know what she means by actual progressive policies, but that guy, Talrico, he's even crazier than Crockett. It's not like the Democrats went, conservative. They just picked a white guy. They didn't pick like a MAGA white guy. They just picked a white guy who was radical. He is a progressive radical. He really is crazy.
We need a third party, guys. We need a third party. Things aren't.
If black women abandon the Democrat Party, it'll basically be white women, homosexuals, and a bunch of Latinos. The Latino vote is probably like 70-30 for the Democrats. There's still a good chunk of Latinos that are on the right, but I'm just spitballing that. The numbers might be a little bit different, but I'm just taking a rough estimate. Like the majority of Latinos are probably on the left, but not all of them. Whereas it's like 90-something% in Black America. But if Black America leaves the Democrat Party, if you get a lot of Black people who actually just protest vote, it's only going to be liberal white women, homosexuals, and Mexicans of various nationalities. We're just gonna call them all Mexican for shorthand.
Adding up. And I'm about to jump into conspiracy theories right here. 13% of the population. I'm confused. I've never filled out a census. So how are they getting this information? I really want. How many of y'all have filled out a fucking census? Because I've never had one. So how do they know what my race is? How are they counting these things? Because logically, it would make sense to do that at birth and then collect that information at death. They don't do that. So how are they getting this information if we have to fill it out? How can a group of people be 13% of the population for over 200 some years? That doesn't make sense. I feel like they chose 13 because they represent an unlucky number.
She's really struggling with our population size, you know, the percentage of America that is Black American. You know how these girls struggle with numbers, right? Shout out to Dirty Folks, man. He was the one tried to warn us, man. Girls can't count.
So my question to you is this: when we talking in actual families, real people, why are we talking in percentages instead of real numbers when we're dealing with real people?
Okay, because percentages are real numbers.
No, percentages, dude, that don't even make sense.
Yes, it does.
Percentages are not real numbers.
Yes, they are.
No, they are not.
The main majority of race in this country.
Yes, they are.
White
percentages are not real numbers. Real numbers would be
percentages
0 through 9. Those are real numbers.
I understand that this may be. I understand that this may be difficult, but percentages are real numbers. We use
I'm gonna have to tell you that if you have to take a percentage of a number, then you're not talking about raw data. You're not talking about
our
real
percentages,
numbers, and we're not.
We use percentage to pay our taxes.
Percentages
They are real numbers.
Oh my motherfucking God.
Hit that like button, y'all. This is gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a rough one, but we gotta get through it, y'all.
Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
This shit is made up. I don't believe that number is as low as we think it is. There's a lot of work to be done. But the first thing is you got to process the grief that these people do not want what they say they want, or the progressive policies that they do say they want. They only want it attached to a white man.
Yeah, they want progressive policies. They just don't want Black women. I think it's fair to say that. And it's not even that they wanted or ever didn't want. Black women aren't really the point of it all, actually. They just want to get their job done, and they realize that they can't win with Black women. Which is ironic, which is really ironic, because ever since Kamala Harris was running for president, there was an entire online movement literally called Win with Black Women. And the Democrats are like, oh, nah, we can't do that. We're not doing that shit no more.
Maybe a white woman, but a white man is what they're looking for. So you know what? If we are literally the opposite of white men, and that's the reason why they can't vote for it, because, you know, of all their racist, implicit bias, cool. We'll remove ourselves. Nothing in this country shakes without us. So they'll figure it out. I want a new party. I want issues that are affecting the Black community to be addressed. Because people are tired, and we need hope.
Didn't Obama give you hope? I thought Obama gave you hope. Hope and change. That's what Obama gave you. What did you do with the hope and change that Obama gave you?
And I want to contribute to something, feel like I'm contributing to something bigger than myself, other than the fact that I'm just constantly putting out the fire that someone else started. And that's why we can't get any fucking progress, because we're so busy putting out these fires. They got it. They got it. Because at the end of the day, racism is the reason why we don't have free healthcare. Racism is the reason why we can't have housing as a human right. racism. And then they get on here and complain about how they don't have these things and how, oh, I am struggling getting an education because everything's so expensive and da-da-da-da-da-da. And because of the fact of the matter is, racism is so deeply ingrained to this country. There will not be barely any progressive isms that you want. Hell, by now we could have had a bullet train that could take you from New York to, I don't know, fucking Chicago or something. But no, we got to keep everyone so spread out in it so that way they can't talk to each other. But, you know, oh well. Yeah, give me some party names down in the comments, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's hash it out. Let's figure it out. Because this is not sustainable for us. It might be for them, but not for us. Especially when Goody Boy's talking about going and causing trouble in other countries that are going to inevitably lead to another WAR. So, give me some names, y'all. Give me some names. This is a black section only.
I don't mean to be presumptuous because I'm not a Black American woman, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the feeling that I am getting is that they are fed up with the bullshit. They are the only demographic who consistently, since the beginning, have fought to save this nation from itself. And when they were able to, they also voted that way as well. But with what happened in Texas, with Jasmine Crockett's run for Senate, they are tired of saving this nation and in return getting a handful of spit. This nation is well and truly fucked.
He said they just spit in y'all hand. Hold on. I don't think I've ever heard that type of language before. Where does that type of saying come from? They just spit in your hand? Oh God, that just sounds nasty. That's nasty. They just be spitting in y'all hands and shit. Y'all be licking it up. This is nasty work.
They are tired of saving this nation and in return getting a handful of spit. This nation is well and
you know what? I'm gonna go with that, American man. That probably is some type of gay coded language. Niggas be spitting on each other hands and shit.
Yeah, what are they coming to church doing? Being gay.
Truly fucked. And all of a sudden, I am hearing from white leftists and so-called liberals and progressives, well, now Black American women, we need to join together behind the winning candidate, and we need to, oh, you all can kiss our collective asses. Someone tried to correct me by telling me that, well, Rod James Tallarico was campaigning long before Jasmine announced her Senate run. But Jasmine Crockett has global name recognition for a reason. She is one of the very few in Congress that is confronting the fascism that is now in control of our federal government. And I find it strange because I remember up until she announced her Senate run, everybody was, you go, Jasmine. You take it to him, Jasmine. Continue to speak truth to power, Jasmine. So she decides, I think I'm going to run for Senate so I can get a little bit more influence. And then all of a sudden, mainly from Democratic leadership and white liberals, you start hearing, ooh, she's too ghetto. She's not an appropriate candidate. She's much too loud. Her hair and her nails. She is just not suitable. And so you all have elected this James Tallarico, who I believe is just an undercover MAGA. If he wins the Senate seat and goes to Congress, most likely he will do one or two things. He will either vote along Republican Party lines, or he will change parties altogether. And Black American women are over it. And I cannot blame them. If they decide to sit out the midterms. And after the midterms, fascists still control the government, so be it. That might be the only solution left in this final episode of the last season of the United States of America. Because you are white America, and notice I said white America, meaning white leftists and MAGA, refuse to confront your racism and your misogyny. That's why Jasmine lost, because she is by far the better candidate for that Senate seat, by far. But okie dokie. And now here you all come with your pathetic, condescending rhetoric about how we now need to stand together. This is much bigger than us. And no, not this time. I get the sinking feeling that Black American women collectively are done, beginning with the Black American women in Texas. I do not blame Black American women one single bit. So no matter what happens after the midterms, so be it. I don't mean to be presumptuous because I'm not a Black American woman, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the feeling that I am getting is that they are fed up with the bullshit. They are the...
Hey, shout out to American Man with the $10 Venmo donation. He says, we need a break from Keisha. I want to hear about houses in the hills. I don't have houses in the hills for you, bro. That sounds very white coded.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
Shout out to American Man. I appreciate the donation. And yeah, this Venmo alerts be delayed. I don't even hear this thing. It doesn't even go off until I open up the damn app. And then I get buzzes and bells and shit going on. But shout out to everybody supporting the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that super chat button. Be like American Man for me. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
Racism and xenophobia towards Latinos that I've seen from Jasmine Crockett supporters. Like, it's actually crazy. And I think this is why our country is the way it is. There's no unity at all whatsoever. People are painting it as if it was Harris versus Trump again, when that just wasn't it. That was not the reality. They were both great candidates. Both were qualified. And it just the absolutely horrible things that I've seen, specifically Black people say about Latinos, excusing ICE, saying like, is ICE still hiring? Like, POC unity is such a joke. It will always be a joke. They will always keep us separated. And Texas is never going to turn blue. Apparently, we're just going to stay in this forever, because if your candidate doesn't win, then it's fuck everything else. It's astonishing to me the amount of race.
Yeah. See, this comment here is a prime example of what we Black Americans, especially Black American women, are talking about. The commenter states, I support Jasmine Crockett, but this is much bigger than her election. We got to get this orange menace out the White House. We need everybody for the midterms. Absolutely not. The time to have done something about the orange menace was on November 5th of 2024. The only people who passed that open book test were Black Americans, especially the 92% of Black American women. You all failed the next open book test with Jasmine Crockett, who is a fighter, who does speak truth to power. But you can see the line of demarcation between how she was treated. Before she announced her Senate run, everybody was cheering Jasmine on. Oh, but after she announced her Senate run, everybody on the white leftist progressive side and their grandmama had a problem with Jasmine Crockett, and she never has had support from Democratic Party leadership. There was so much anti-Blackness, misogyny, and racism spewed toward Jasmine Crockett during her Senate run from white liberals and Democrats and other marginalized groups. And you think that we Black Americans didn't see that? So you elect another mediocre white man or mediocre white passing man. Now you want to turn around and say, we all have to join together. No, the fuck we don't. The only thing Black Americans need to do is continue to be Black, and then when it is time, croak. And that's it. We're done. We're over this abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. Until the Democratic Party contends with the anti-Blackness, racism, and misogyny within the party, if white leftists don't confront it within themselves, hell no, Black Americans aren't going to continue to just blindly lend our support. And if that means that fascists continue to control the federal government after the midterms, so be it. Black Americans are in survival mode. We haven't.
Listen, we ready to give this country to fascism. God, this shit's making. They about to give me everything I wanted. Yeah, yes, give this over to fascism. Let fascism have a try. You niggas tried being Black, you done tried being gay. Let's try fascism. Everything else isn't working. Let's try the one thing that we haven't tried. Let's try the one thing that actually makes the hoes mad, all right? Let's give fascism a try. And shout out to American Man. I did receive the other half of that. And listen, it cost a lot of money, bro. The price is the price.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And with this, I dress myself in cashmere. I dress myself in $100 Cleveland flags. I dress myself in alligator shoes. I wear a $15,000 Rolex. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls-Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls-Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like jet flying, son of a gun, the biggest star of them all. It costs a lot of money to.
Shout out to American Man. And then also, I see you up there, Joey. Shout out to my man, Joey, with the $9.99. Why is he gay? He is gay. Very, very, very.
That nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay.
Appreciate y'all coming out today, man. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
Endured much worse than this. But you all have the ball now. It's on you, white leftists, progressives, and liberals. It's on you, Democratic Party leadership. It's
all the black women, all the black gays. They are so butthurt right now. Oh my God. They like, it's on you, white man. You do it now, white man. I don't want to play no more.
It's on you, every other marginalized group that has shown that you detest Black Americans. Y'all got it now. we're done. And we Black Americans have a saying, we can show you better than we can tell you.
You know what I think really has happened over the last couple of years? Like I was saying, like the radicalization of this particular group, which is, you know, Black women in particular, the Black community at large, it has made the group unmanageable, unreasonable, unlikable even. And so it's like you done radicalized yourself out of your own party. Nigga woke up and left the Democrat Party. Amazing things are happening right now. Amazing things are happening.
White liberals are mad that Black voters won't blindly support James Tallarico. And honestly, that's y'all's problem. Let me say this clearly. I will not be voting for James Tallarico come midterms. And before the internet starts writing essays in my comment section, let me tell you why. White liberals have failed us once again, per usual. They ignored a qualified Black woman and instead nominated another unqualified white man. And now they are shocked that Black voters aren't excited about it. James is giving Featherman 2.0 energy. A candidate people are aggressively branding as something he is not, while very obviously ignoring red flags. You cannot cosplay as a Democrat while taking money from MAGMA-aligned donors and expect people not to question it. That's not how that works. And here's the part that really gets me. White liberals will vote based on identity all day long.
You know what? I didn't really pick up on this because I just found this video like right when we were live. I'm willing to believe you guys. That is probably a transgender. But what the hell? What the hell? It's a diverse show. Diversity has got you to this point. Don't look away now.
Second, that Black voters say we're paying attention to identity and policies. 2, suddenly it's a problem. So let's be clear. If you're voting based on identity politics, then 92% of us are allowed to do the exact same thing. You thought we were just going to vote for him because he had a D next to his name. You thought the Black community would just fall in line and fix it later. You thought wrong. Black voters, especially Black women, are tired. We are tired of unqualified white men getting nominated because of biases people refuse to acknowledge. Do not get on the internet telling Black men and women how we need to vote, especially not for another candidate who clearly does not represent us. And honestly, this conversation is not new, because even Malcolm X warned about this decades ago. He said the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the Black man. And whether people want to hear that or not, the reason the quote still circulates is because people keep seeing the same pattern. And this is also why a lot of Black voters have been resting, sitting it out. Because every election cycle, the expectation is the same. Ignore us during the process.
You know, Chocolate Bunny, maybe you're right, but I just think that is how great the failure is right now for the Democrat Party. They are losing the mixed trans Black women. The Democrat Party was the main place. They were the home created specifically for mixed trans Black women, and they've lost mixed trans Black women, Chocolate Bunny. Think about that. That's how big the Democrats have messed up. There's no coming back once you lose the mixed trans Black women. It's over. It's cooked.
Then demand we save the democracy afterwards. That is not how respect works. If the Black community is protected, everybody is protected. History has proven that over and over again. But white liberals refuse to listen to Black women when we say this. In that refusal to listen, that is exactly how we ended up in the political situation we are in right now. Because the people who have been most accurate about what is coming, especially Black women, are the same people who keep getting ignored. Until people start listening, and stop nominating candidates that don't represent our communities, some of us will continue to sit it out. Because trust isn't built by demanding our voice. Trust is built by listening before damage is done. I won't be voting for James Tallarico in the midterms. You should have listened to us.
You should have listened to the mixed trans black women. And now you're just going to lose all the black women.
I dare say black people doing a protest and not voting for Tallarico. I don't want to hear it. Y'all did not want to vote for Kamala. They're literally bombing Iran right now and starting World War III. Shut up. Shut up talking about you want to vote for Democrats. Y'all have Trump in office. Y'all did not want to vote because Trump is in office now. I don't want to hear any white women talking. Y'all was majority Trump. So as soon as y'all get into I don't understand why black y'all voted for Trump. Don't say shit to me. So when we see these black women, because they really think because we're black, we're just going to vote Democrat. And now I low-key see what the Republicans be on with that, because don't just assume because I'm black, I'm voting for myself. I'm voting for my rights. And
Oh, wait. Did she just shout out the Republicans? Hold up now. She just shouted out you got these bitches so mad they are shouting out Republicans now. Shout out to Mr. Enigma with the $9 R&B and making these O's mad. Yes, bro, they are so mad. They like, you know what? I see what these Republican racist niggas be talking about.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
we see these black women, because they really think because we're black, we're just going to vote Democrat. And now I low-key see what the Republicans be on with that, because don't just assume because I'm black, I'm voting for myself. I'm voting for my rights. And Democrats just tempted to have that in interest. But Tallarico does not have that interest because he is paid for by Republicans. He is a white man who is a teacher who is paid for by Republicans that has a political career that Jasmine Crockett could wipe her ass with. Y'all chose Trump. Don't be mad that we don't want to vote for him just because it's this. Because it's not just this. And y'all played for the last time. Don't be... Every black woman in Texas who don't want to vote, I got your back. Every single one. Y'all got 2 Republicans on the stand anyway. You have a puppet and a Republican on the stand anyway. What does it matter? What does it matter? America is already falling. Like, it feels like every time we try to save America from falling, they want to keep falling. So I think we should just let them have this despair arc. White America wants to have their despair arc so bad. Let them have it. Before I was really like, no, you should still vote in Texas. I've been thinking about that bad lady with that lady with the bad hair from Virginia for a minute. That was a Republican. She was black. She did not receive the black vote, and a white woman won over her. Black people, when we vote, someone said this, we tend to vote more centrist more than anything. Like, we vote for what we want. We don't really vote blue no matter who, or black no matter who. We vote for who is going to support the black community and who is going to get us out of a big situation. Tallarico is not advocating for the immediate removal of a war criminal that just killed 110 Iranian elementary school children. Mind you, as of today, the U.S. has admitted to Congress that they did it. That they have admitted that they killed those 110 girls, that Trump killed those 110 girls, and he don't want them out of office. He wants to make moderates feel better about making Texas this blue state. They see it as a money grab. They see it as Democratic Party representation, not as a movement for progression and democracy. They are here for an image. They are really here for an image. And I was willing to partially ignore that so Trump would not get into office. But since they have not only allowed Trump to do whatever he wants for a year, remember the caning of Charles Sumner. I don't want to hear anything talking about it's legal. Democrats beat Charles Sumner almost to death on the Senate floor over slavery in the 1800s. Go Google it. I'm not lying to you. But now for World War III, literal Armageddon, nobody wants to get serious. Nobody wants to put their hands on Kristi Noem. Get out of here. I've been thinking about that.
No. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett. A girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh, yeah. We done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that. I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell, and that's why you lost. You're fucking racist. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If you would have pitched that in 2002, 2001, you probably could have gotten like a good drift. However, that was people in the past. Those kids that I grew up with that were chasing a field every summer, every spring with their parents, moving school to school because they had to go pick fruit with their parents, are now grown up. And guess what? Do you think that they're gonna go back to picking fields when they have a citizenship? No. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking to vote for blue people with blue policies that put their parents in fields. Fuck no. Some of them are real estate investors, business owners. They're passing down generational wealth. And you think that they're picking cotton. You out of your goddamn mind. I'm going to remind you real quick. The majority of the Latino voters for Trump here in Texas live in the southern border. You know what happened in the southern border? No. Why? Because neither you nor Kamala have the balls to go down there. I'm going to tell you what happened. Along the Texas border, poverty levels are sky high as it is. When you import a bunch of riffraff from third world countries and they end up in those southern border towns, they strain the resources for those people. Those people can't even survive. And then you're bringing in all this fucking riffraff with a CBP1 app Ticketmaster to the United States and you leave them there. That's why our governor had to ship all those fucking people out. And then y'all complain, oh, you were shipping on. Yeah, because you guys brought them here. You blue people brought them here to Texas and the southern towns were suffering. Not only that, but there was violence across the border in Tamaulipas, in Reynosa, all those cartels fighting to bring all those people over here. Why? Because they were profiting billions of dollars. And your ass still thinks that we're picking cotton? Take that. No Congress for Jasmine. As a matter of fact, why don't you go run for Missouri? What did you do in Missouri that they don't want you to run for them? Oh, I know. Exactly. Because people in Missouri see right through your bullshit. And so do we in Texas. Keeping Texas red. Oh, no.
After L, getting fired by black women have been catching L after L after L, getting fired by the federal government, losing out on DEI initiatives, and now crippling student loan debt. And they were looking to you to bring them some sort of hope, one victory, and you lost. You know why you lost? You know why you lost. Now listen, if you want to bring black women a W in 2026 and beyond, tap in with me, all right? And it's not gonna come cheap. I'm talking 7 figures, okay? It's not going to come cheap. I know how much y'all make. I know how much they pay you. And 7 figures, all right, it's not even on the high end either, okay? Tap in with me. 6 months, you'll turn it all around.
The grifters are coming out, y'all.
Jasmine Crockett losing the Senate primary in Texas. I'm just so tired of the fact that if you're not a white man, you're not considered safe. And nobody is like talking about that. Everybody in their normal Monday morning quarterbacking is like, oh, well, you know, her strategy, she didn't send enough texts, she didn't have enough yard signs. Oh, the infrastructure, the campaign management. Hey, so you mean to tell me that every white man that's winning these elections has a perfect campaign? Nothing is wrong. Nothing is ever the matter with them? Or do mediocre white men with mediocre campaigns win all the time, but they are seen as safe? And I'm specifically talking about Democrats. I'm specifically talking about people who vote Democratic in the Democratic Party apparatus. looking at Black women and women, I think overall, but especially Black women on bigger stages and saying, we can't actually support them. I think when Jasmine Crockett decided to get into that race, the Democratic apparatus in Texas was like, fuck, we don't want her. Like, we need Tallarico to win. He's a safe white man. And as much as this party wants to talk about evolution and being progressive and moving to a new place, they keep going back to the same old status quo and keep going back to what they consider to be like the types of people who can beat Republicans, which they seem to only think is white men. And I'm not saying that it's not an uphill battle to, in a general election, be able to actually get a Black woman elected. I'm not saying that that's like wrong. I mean, even I felt like that. Like when Kamala got into the race, I was super scared, and I was like, you can pull my receipts. I was very negative for the first little bit because I was like, if they didn't vote for a white lady, they're definitely not going to vote for a Black lady. But I came on board because I got so excited. Like, oh, the idea of having a Black woman president that I got to vote for. Like, are you kidding me? That's so amazing. And I saw like all these groups having their like fill in the blank for Kamala calls, you know, South Asians for Kamala, white women for Kamala. I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Like, I started to get excited, but then we get pushed right back to reality that as long as we exist in this fuck ass system that we're in, we are never going to be able to actually see Black women get to the highest points, because ultimately there's always going to be the belief, and I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just like frustrated by it, but there's always going to be the belief that a Black woman cannot win a general election. Therefore, on the primary, they're always going to prefer the safe white man. And so what does that mean for somebody like Kamala, for somebody like Jasmine? They have like a really heavy, strong glass ceiling that is like keeping them in place. You can't get above this right here because you're not safe enough. And that makes me feel really shitty. Like, I actually cried about that shit the other day, y'all. Like, I really was sad.
She cried, y'all. It made her cry. She probably opened up a box of wine, got all her cats together, and they just cried and hugged each other.
To think about the fact that like Jasmine Crockett maybe will never be able to get to these higher levels, especially in this Trump, in what I hope will become a post-Trump era, where people on the left are going to really be scared. Like, oh my God, like, we cannot let this happen again. So we got to gather up our white men and get them ready for battle. And if you're not a white man, maybe you can get on the cabinet. I've been thinking so much about Jasmine Crockett.
When you hear people say there's a literacy crisis, this is what they mean.
No. What do you mean? Jasmine not going to Congress for Texas? Oh, Crockett, a girl can only dream. Listen, Jasmine, what was that one quote that you said? Let me think. Oh, yeah, we done picking cotton. You can't pay us enough to go find a plantation. Yeah, you remember that. I remember that. How could I forget? See, 6.5 million Hispanic voters in Texas, which is like the majority of the electoral vote here in the state. And you mean to tell me that you think that we're still picking cotton? Hell no, girl. Hell no. That's why you lost.
A literacy crisis literally means that people are illiterate. And that doesn't mean that they can't read.
Yeah, pick some more fights with the Mexicans. Please do that. Please pick more fights with the Mexicans, and you let me know how that helps you out.
So they make some meaning, but it's very surface level. The higher order thinking skills that are needed for critical thinking, making inferences, drawing
conclusions. They don't have them. This lady actually thought, and she's not an anomaly, that when Jasmine Crockett said, "We're not picking cotton no more," that she was talking about the Latinx population picking cotton. If you are illiterate, you took that statement very literal. Trump and the rest of his regime won this election because people were illiterate. And they are making doubly sure that folks stay that way. We're not picking cotton no more. Making inferences, which means you would need to be familiar and knowledgeable of that reference and what she actually meant. She absolutely knows folks ain't picking cotton that way. The statement meant that we won't be your slaves anymore, too. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. There is a literacy crisis and a push to make sure people stay illiterate. All right, good people. When you hear
So after Jasmine Crockett left, and I don't think people noticed that the Black community, we was watching to see how Texas handled Jasmine Crockett, to know how we were going to move, henceforth. I don't think they know that. So, however, I'm thinking we are just going to go independent. I've been independent. And from now on, we're just voting for our best interest, because I see a lot of people are voting against their best interests in spite of. So have we finally gotten to the point where we just vote our best interests and we're not party? We're not married to a party? I hope so. And this is a safe space. Any Jasmine hate, Black woman slander, Black people slander, it's going to get deleted. You're going to get blocked. So, yeah. And this isn't just for Texas. This is just for us in general, Black people and our allies. All right. So after
question for Tallarico supporters. You guys sat there and you called all Black people. You called Jasmine Crockett. You said we're going to stop doing identity politics. By identity politics, you guys mean Black people. Let's just be clear. You guys mean Black people. You guys basically called us uneducated and said we only vote on the people for the color of their skin. But that's a lie, because in Virginia, little did you know, we didn't vote that bitch Winsome Sears in just because of the color of her skin. We voted in Abigail Spanberger. So no, we don't do identity politics. Y'all the one that said that James Tallarico has a better chance of winning. Before you found out Jasmine policies, you guys said that James Tallarico has a better chance of winning because he can appeal to white nationalists and Republicans. Isn't that identity politics because he's a Christian? That's identity politics as well. Everything is identity politics. But when you buy identity politics, you mean Black people. And this is Exhibit 1. In this video by a creator, she was talking about Jasmine Crockett, you using the Democratic primary. And they said it's like they refuse to learn from Kamala. Identity politics is over. People only care about real stances and real policies. And someone said, Black women hold identity politics too close to their hearts. They believe Black female politicians, even Kamala, deserve unconditional support, even when she supported genocide. They think that we're uneducated. Y'all are asking for our vote. And y'all are around here trashing us, look, fuck all this shit. Y'all are calling the racist thing that Shahab said towards Jasmine Crockett, calling her ghetto, calling her aggressive. Angela Ocasio-Cortez is a Latino Jasmine Crockett. She does the exact same thing that Jasmine Crockett does. But you know who gets called aggressive? Jasmine Crockett. But
I don't recall AOC having a shouting match on the congressional floor. What was that phrase? Bad body built, bleached blonde, something. AOC may be politically as progressive and left wing as Jasmine Crockett, might even be more progressive and left wing than Jasmine, but AOC does not act like Jasmine, not even the Latina version of it, whatever that looks like.
besides all of that, you guys have been calling us uneducated. You have been trashing us, trashing our community, calling us identity politics, saying that we only vote because of someone color our skin, and you're asking for our vote. And then when I said that James Tallarico is not absolved from criticism and he needs to earn the black vote and he hasn't earned it, people are coming after me saying he has. They're saying this. They're saying that people that were recently incarcerated to earn high school degrees, he passed policies that benefit black people. Who the fuck? This is the problem. And they also said, someone also told me that.
But isn't that what Democrats have been doing for generations now? We're going to pass criminal reform. We're going to pass no bail. That's literally what the Democrats been doing. And so now all of a sudden the Democrats doing the shit that they've been doing, you literally don't want to actually talk about it. Hold on. You saying it's literally in the Hose Mad video? Let's play that one time to compare if AOC is as ghetto as Jasmine Crockett.
Hose Mad, Hose Mad, Hose Mad, Hose Mad, Hose Mad, Hose Mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hose Mad, Hose Mad, Hose Mad.
I mean, if we're going to be honest, she was definitely acting black in that little thing. She was trying to use a little black preacher intonation or whatever, but no, it was not as ghetto. I'm not prepared to call AOC as ghetto as Crockett. If you want to call AOC ghetto, fine. I'm not going to fight you on that. But if we're having a ghetto power level ranking, Jasmine Crockett is fucking Goku. Jasmine Crockett is a Super Saiyan, purple-haired Goku ghetto bitch, bro. AOC did not reach purple hair ghetto level. She did not reach Super Saiyan. It's not even close, bro.
He gave water to a poor community. What about the black people that are not poor, that are not incarcerated, that are college educated? That shit does not affect us. That shit is everywhere. That shit is everywhere. This is the problem. Y'all think that we're poor and we think that you're uneducated. We're not uneducated. We're not incarcerated. That does not benefit black people. That benefits everyone. All we are asking for him is to come to black communities and speak. Tell us his issues. Tell us his policies. What is he going to do for voter suppression? He has yet to say that. So no, he has not earned my vote. I don't live in Texas, of course. I'm saying he doesn't earn our vote, but I'm saying that he hasn't earned the black community's vote. All we're asking him is to not feel entitled to it and actually go out and work for it. And y'all are giving excuses for him. But and they say he was doing that before Jasmine joined. So they say he wasn't going to make, she was heavily favored in that demographic, and he was going to make a priority when he will. He has yet to make us a priority. It doesn't matter. Y'all are keep giving him excuses after excuses. He is not absolved from criticism. Stop telling black people how to feel. They said if he spent his whole campaign trying to pull away the black vote from Crockett, he would have lost. What the fuck? We are asking for the same respect he gave to the white people. He gave to Latinos. He needs to come to the black communities and speak and give us the same exact treatment that he gave everyone else. How the fuck is that a problem? Someone said, the question is, you really going to be able to vote to get out this vile administration, or you're willing to stay in this abusive and authoritative government just for your feelings? We don't have time to play the child game. Playing little devil's advocate here. During the election, y'all sat there and said that you was not going to vote for Kamala Harris because of her stance on Israel, right? So you guys did not vote for Kamala Harris and Trump won. And black people were the ones that voted for her the most. Now the roles are reversed and now you're trying to switch the lane. No, bitch. Let me let you know something. Black voters are issue-based as well. See, y'all said y'all was issue-based about that Palestine and Israel shit. Well, we're issue-based about voter suppression. But how is that a problem now? We're saying that we're not going to vote for him because of voter suppression. But y'all were able to be issue-based against Kamala but we're not able to be issue-based because of James Tallarico. Why is he not? Why are we not allowed to vote for him? Y'all didn't vote for Kamala. Why can't we not vote for James Tallarico? You see how that works? It doesn't work in your favor. You want black people to fall in line, but we will not. Respect our opinions. Y'all sat there and was racist and said we were uneducated. And you are basically saying that his policy that he said it would do about poor people and people that are incarcerated, what the fuck does that have to do with us? Black Texans are not incarcerated high numbers, and they are not fucking poor. Houston, Texas is one of the black meccas.
She don't even live in Texas, and she's in her car having a meltdown. She's like on the side of the highway somewhere in Indiana. She like outside of Gary, Indiana or something like that, having a meltdown about Texas black women. God. Joey Montana with the $4.99. The good people of the Church of Misogyny want a panna today, sir. I will oblige the panna. I was just thinking about wrapping this up, but you know, you got to get a church what they want, y'all.
Get it again. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I come in the name of Jesus. Repeat it after me, bitch. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
And then also, while I'm dropping that link, shout out to True Hype with the 5-ball. Baby deleting is the best interest while others' numbers growing, including newcomers. They can't put it together that your own political defeat happened years ago. You cut your own self off at the knees. You locked all the doors. You blocked all the entries, the escape routes. You blocked all of your own escape routes. And so now you have this problem of just being overwhelmed by sheer numbers, and you're not even going to get it. You're not even able to see the reality of it. You can sit in your car and honk your horn and pound your head against the dash. You can do all the things. You can cry about racism and misogyny and all the things, right? But ultimately, you need numbers. Numbers is what it's going to take to get you guys over the hump. Being mad just isn't going to do it no more.
They are poor parts of Houston, Texas, but they are very rich, are one of the wealthiest black communities. And you're telling me, what are you going to do for the average working class black American? Nothing. He has yet to say his plan. He is not absolved from criticism. Stop it.
And of course, she does deserve one more Hoes Mad because, you know, she earned that shit.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
And bottom line, it's that Jasmine Crockett lost her Senate race because of two reasons: racism and misogyny. And white leftists and POC, no matter how you try to gaslight we Black Americans, and let me tell you something, you all need to get your PhDs in gaslighting because you're on that tip with us 24/7. But we're not stupid and we are not blind. The definition of insanity is doing the same things, but you expect different results. If that does not define the United States of America, I don't know what does, because you all continuously vote in these white men into power, and they do not demographically represent the demographic makeup of the United States of America. Just take a look at Congress, going all the way to the beginning. White people have always been overrepresented, and that continues. And once again, like we did after the presidential election, we're going to show you all much better than we can tell you that we are done putting on our capes, trying to save this nation that is already burning to the ground. And from where I stand right now, that may be what is necessary. We're already in World War III as we speak. But we're not going to continue to allow you to use our labor and expect us to clean up your messes after you show us how much you hate us. And you all definitely do not want Black American women to hold any real political power. Okie dokie. No matter what happens after the midterms, so be it. But you all voted for James Tallarico because he is a white man, period. And Black Americans, we know that. So, okay. Now, all of a sudden, let's come together. We have to stand together. Oh, and I love this one. You all are part of this nation too, and everything that's going on will impact you and affect you too. You all are brutally, willfully ignorant, believing the fairy tales that you call history.
All right, let's stop him right there. Welcome to the show, Hype. What are your thoughts about this this continuing crash out and what seems to be the shifting political reality in the Democrat Party?
I mean, the ground has left them years ago, yet they don't realize it. The demographic shifts in her district alone are changing in the fact to where if you did have a brown coalition, it'd probably be a good idea not making enemies, you know, amongst them. But you don't have that. You had this fake, you know, whatever. I don't know. It's very funny, man. And then the fact that these cats don't keep their promises. I thought they were done with the last election. You know, but they're done again. How you done twice?
They're always done.
They're overcooked, man, at this point. That's it.
Okay, y'all. I don't think that the Democratic voters in Texas realize that they played themselves when it comes to the Senate race. Because when Kamala Harris was running, Democratic white women, Hispanic males, and Democratic white males refused to vote for her. One, because of racism, because she's a Black woman. They didn't look at her education, her experience, or anything. And then even Palestinian, the progressive, tried to say because of the policy she had and tried to turn her, twist her arm and say, don't vote. You got to say you're against Israel. You got to say you're against Israel. And then you had Jill Stein and all these other people coming out, which took away a lot of the voting block. And then they ended up in the situation we're in now. And so they said, oh, no. We need Black women to come out and support. We made a mistake. We need your help and your support. So I don't think that those groups, the wannabe white passing Hispanics, the wannabe white passing, or just white women, white men, all these are Democratic Party people I'm saying this to. You sat liberals.
There's white men to the left of you. There's white men to the right of you. What's the bitch gonna do? Where's she supposed to go?
You want it?
Hood.
You got it.
I sure thought you were gonna do the stuck in the middle with you joint, man. I was waiting for it, man.
Clouds to the left of me. Joke is to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. You know, Reservoir Dogs made me like that song. I don't think I really heard that song until Reservoir Dogs. Anyway, what's going on, American man? Welcome to the show, bro.
Like Stephen A. said, what's Keisha gonna do? Go vote Republican? We all know Keisha ain't doing that. Keisha will be piped down by summer and back to voting Democrat. We all know it. We all know it.
They're gonna get punked back into voting. They're gonna get punked. I'm telling you, the Democrats are gonna have some tough talk with the Keishas, and they're gonna be like, you know what? You right.
No. There's not going to be any of that. Let me tell you what it's going to be. More racism. And Keisha's going to clam up and vote Democrat. That's what it always is. There's never no tough talk. There's never anything. It's always racism. And Keisha falls in line.
You might be more right on that. Yeah, the racism card it's always the Trump card. It's the go-to card.
Hey, Hud, when you get a chance, you should read Larry Elder's Stupid Black Men. It's a good book.
All right, I'll pull that up.
Black women to come and support you. You want Black women to be there, to march with you, to stand side by side, because they're the best at putting together things like that. I mean, statistics are statistics. And you promised you'll do better. So then we have the Senate race. All polls, everything said that Jasmine Crockett has the most experience, and she's the one that the Republican Party was going after. They did not want her to run against Cornyn or Paxton. But did y'all listen? No. Y'all came with the old adage, a black woman can't beat a white man in Texas. So you used that to justify your vote. Or you used...
They got the story wrong, Hood. That's why Yes, they were they giving do. donations. That's why they were giving donations to her, because she was a much more flawed candidate in a general election. She's not as likable as all these people are trying to act like to the normal person.
I was making that exact same point as well. I mean, from a political perspective, Talrico is a much more dangerous opponent in terms of his media savvy. He's not as just outright offensive as a Jasmine Crockett is. And so when you ask him questions, he might ultimately give you an answer that's like substantively crazy and retarded, but it's going to come off so much smoother.
Racism, which you already, because it showed with Kamala, a lot of Mexicans and Puerto Ricans didn't want to vote for a black woman against a white person, because for some reason you think that a black woman...
We're still doing the Kamala is a black woman
is not
thing.
good enough. So you went out, and this is to anybody who had this analogy that Jasmine just could not beat Paxton or Cornyn. When statistics and every single poll said that she would have destroyed, she would have totally beat Paxton, and it would have been she would have been ahead with Cornyn, but she would have been better off. She would have won. And you know why? Because they was looking at it like this. They were thinking about everything that was said. When Democratic women, Hispanic and Latinos, the ones being deported, a lot of you were saying, oh, we support you. We just need your help. We need y'all to back us. They were looking at all y'all voting for Jasmine. All of y'all white women, liberal and Democrat, voting for Jasmine. And all of the black women voting for Jasmine. All women of color voting for Jasmine. She would have won. But now you're in a pickle. Because when you lied to black women, saying that you would support the person they're supporting, because the black women always seem to know best. But you came with all these excuses. So now I'm gonna be honest, I have nothing against the one that won, the preacher who won, because he just got in office last year. He just became he just made it into the House of Representatives. This was his first time in there. And he wasn't really on no committees. He really wasn't doing anything in the House. And what people were saying was that he's a pastor. And I looked it up. He's like a really good guy, and he really is out there, and he wants to do right by Texans. So even when I was thinking about voting, I was like, who should I vote for? Who should I vote for? I said to myself, I'm going to vote for the most experienced. Right now in this climate, the one who is going to fight. And they can't, no matter what they say to her, she's going to have something to come back at them with. She's not going to say, but Jesus loves you. Because you're fighting people who have alleged criminal backgrounds in the Republican Party. People who don't care about black and brown people. Cornyn or Paxton.
Oh, you dropped out of Mac, man. You know, I'm realizing something else here. Something about the nature of the women, especially the women on the Democrat side. It's like they're trapped themselves in the Democrat, liberal, progressive paradigm, so they can't properly judge things outside of that worldview that they hold on to. And so let me play one other video. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to get to some closing arguments here in a minute, but let me just play this other video.
Hey, Hood.
Together.
Hood,
Yeah.
right before you do that, man, alleged criminal backgrounds, right? Yet all these people on both sides just voted to keep all that stuff secret, all the sexual, deviant stuff. Come
right?
on,
From
man.
Congress. Congress just voted to keep Congress's secrets. Like, and Congress has been caught up in shit like this for a long time. There was like the Page Boy scandal back in the day where they were literally bringing boys into the congressional building. It was like crazy, but and I heard they have like a sex crime hush money fund. It's a sex crime hush money slush fund. Yeah, for Congress, literally for Congress.
That's what I said. Listen, it's all about race. When you listen to all those women, what's the one common denominator they all kept saying? Racism. That's it, bro. They have no other clue. What they don't understand is that in 2020, when they put Biden in there, they voted to displace their own selves.
The dead horse here, but I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but you do know that most Hispanic families, I'm talking about the legal ones, most Spanish Americans here in this country are conservative for the most part. They believe in family, they believe in country, they believe in hard work. They believe that we should fight against communism and socialism because a lot of them escaped that from their country. And a lot of them came to America with nothing, built themselves up, and became very prosperous and successful. And they don't abort their kids for the most part. But Black people, on the other hand, we've been here for many, many years, hundreds of years, and we have yet to understand that the Democrat Party and their policies are working against the progress of our people. I don't understand why you don't get that at this late time. So don't blame Latinos and the Republican Party. Don't blame them. Blame the Democrat Party. Blame their poor policies that we have seen just destroy this country the last 4 years and Obama before that. Blame them. I don't want to.
Your loss was baked into the cake way before this election cycle. This was happening. I noticed. I think I said this maybe in another video, but that I was doing. But this really came together in the Trump era, the whole Black woman era. I mean, not Trump, in the Obama era rather. This final like crescendo for Black female politics, it started to form up in the Obama era. And I guess it reached this peak maybe around the first Trump era. And then you had Biden in the White House. And that was the peak moment for Black women. You had Ketanji Brown Jackson get put up on the Supreme Court. Everybody's calling her the DEI justice right now for good reason, because she just might be kind of tarted. And then also you had the VP, Kamala, allegedly Black as the VP. No, quote, Black woman has ever risen that high in politics before. Even that was a DEI pick. He literally picked her because he needed a woman of color on the ticket. And then once upon a time, you had Stacey Abrams trying to be the governor of Georgia. And right now, I think even Bottoms looks like she might pull out the governorship of Georgia. She just might make the governorship, but we'll see. But it seems like Black female politics was really coming to its head right after the Obama administration, up into the Trump administration. And now we're kind of on the downslope, and it's going to go down fast because everybody knows going up the mountain takes a lot longer than coming down.
I'd be amazed if Bottoms actually does anything in Georgia like that, because they were criticizing her way out when she was over Atlanta. Same one, right?
Yeah, that's Bottoms. She was I guess she was the mayor of Atlanta.
Yeah, like she was doing DEI and Libiquita job fairs when there was like a number of serious issues that affected like the majority of the population. But she'd rather spend her time doing that. And cats were really going after her, man, like hard. So if you can't win Atlanta, I don't know if you win the rest of Georgia.
Well, I mean, when you start to pull back the curtain, it seems like Black Democrat, well, Democrat governance really is mostly about symbolism. It's not even like practical. They believe in a lot of these symbolic things like, you know, reproductive justice for transgender people. Like what does that even mean? But they believe in it deeply. And they'll make moves that, you know, symbolically nod toward all the crazy stuff they believe in. But for the average person who has bills to pay and kids to raise, it's not going to help you do anything.
Like and I just came across this again recently, where like, you know, basically you have to accept whatever the narrative is. So somebody says something, and then like nobody questions them. You know, emperor has no clothes moment, right? But then the second somebody's like, what does that mean? And you can just see like them get frustrated in the you know, the jig is up, if you will.
And then what do they go to, True Hype? The minute someone questions them and they have no answers, what do they go to?
Some type of ism or phobia.
Phobia.
Isms and phobias, yep.
Yep.
But that's the game. And what I'm realizing, and maybe hoping at least, is that the game is starting to run out. Because, you know, every game has some type of clock to it. No game lasts forever. And eventually, you know, this game will have run out too. And maybe that's what's happening here. The steam is just out of the engine. The engine's run out of steam. I guess that's how you say it. The engine has just ran all the way out of steam. And we'll see what happens next. But the Tallarico thing is just a sign of what's to come. Any closing thoughts, guys, before we wrap this one up here? Because I got to get out of here. It's Saturday, and there's things I need to get done.
It's funny, man. I appreciate the show, man. Like you got me through packing my suitcase for my trip.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. I'm still low key on a disability / vacation, so I'm enjoying myself as well.
Well, like you know, I will. I'm not gonna say where I'm going or whatever, but it's
well, I know you ain't going to Mexico.
No, it's definitely a very liberal bastion. So we'll see how that works out. Anywho, man, like this is fascinating, right? So anybody that's been like, you know, I guess has any sort of pattern recognition or any sort of like, you know, hey, paying attention, asking the questions that needed to be asked like years ago, they're like looking at people like, what are you talking about? Because like none of this makes any sense. Like the time to plant the tree was like, you know, a couple decades ago. And now people are like, oh man, we got to plant this tree like right away. Okay.
That's the problem though. No, you know, that's really an attitude. That's what's like an old adage. You know, you plant the tree so that your grandkids can rest in the shade, something to that effect.
Yeah, but Hood, they're deleting the grandkids.
Yeah.
No trees, no grandkids, just the empty parking lot where Walmart used to be.
Yeah, it's odd too, because the chick in the one clip earlier when you started was like, they keep doing this to us. And I'm like, so you know they keep screwing you, yet you keep going. At this point, like, it's you, it's not them.
It's like the attitude of a bottom.
Yes. Like, I don't get it, right? She said they keep doing it to us. They did it to us this time. They did it to us that time. But yet you keep going back. Because again, like Stephen A said, what are they going to do? And the Democrat Party knows that. You niggas ain't going to do nothing anyway. You're going to come back and vote at 90-something%. We could do whatever we want.
And there it is. You are locked in. Keisha thought the Democrats were locked in the house with them. Nope, you're locked in the house with the Democrats, Keisha. That's really where you are.
I love that line, man, from Watchmen with Rorschach. Man, I love that line, man.
You thought it was your house. Nope. It's their house. The white man still owns that house, Keisha. Anyway, I think it's a good place to wrap this one up here. I went through a lot of video today, but I actually wanted to just show you just how widespread the attitude is. I'm hearing a lot of hoes mad on the interwebs right now, y'all.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
So we are going to see how this plays out in the future. First, the black men became unsatisfied and disillusioned with the Democrat Party. And now we're getting a lot of black women, for completely different reasons, mind you, also becoming unsatisfied and disillusioned with the Democrat Party. I love politics, man. It's the best show on earth. So you guys stick around. We'll be covering this for, who knows how long. We're gonna keep our eye on the political winds, and we'll be back tomorrow with some other show. Maybe we'll get into the racial controversy. I'll find something to come up with for tomorrow's show, but I will catch you guys later. Thank you guys for coming up on the panel. Thank you so much for supporting the show, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe on your way out of the door. This has been Black Women, Black Identity Politics, and the Democrat Party. Thank you.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.